Welcome into the Fill in the Blanks podcast. I am Jarvis Davis. I got my co-host with me, as usual, Tenitra Batiste. How are you?
Hey man, I am doing good coming off a nice 4-day weekend. So can't complain, and especially excited because we have a special guest today, right?
Right, right. We have a very special guest, as you can see, rookie linebacker Mykal Walker, number 43. That fast dude that be running around making plays on for the Falcons this year in his rookie year. Mykal Walker joins us on the Fill in the Blanks podcast. Michael, man, how are you, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
We always appreciate you joining us and to giving some time here in the off season. Man, rookie year, being drafted in the fourth round to the Atlanta Falcons. You complete your first season. Can you talk about what is like the one thing that you did not expect that happened in your rookie year?
Just for me, you always believe in yourself and always think you're going to play a lot, but you got to come in there knowing, you're a rookie. You didn't come from a Power 5 school. You didn't have no off-season training camps or nothing like that. So, just the amount of playing time I got in early was like, it was great. It's a blessing, and that was the kind of shocked me. But, I feel like I was ready for it. So I think that was the biggest surprise I had.
Yeah, one of the things I remember about you, Michael, in one of the first press conferences that you did was how cerebral you were about the game. So now that you've got through your first season and you've been able to actually get on that field and feel what it's like to be a pro, how do you take your mindset as a student of the game with what you've learned, and how were you able to take that and kind of slow the game down as the season went on?
I just had great coaching staff, my players, my teammates. Those guys like older brothers to me. From day one, they took me in, took me under their wing and helped me out any step of the way. My coaching staff were on me, but it's all out of love. At the end of the day, it's a business out there, and they come with a business mindset. So you got to grow your stuff up a little bit, and you got to turn into a true pro. So that's something I'm still learning to do. But one year down, just trying to clean it up and become a true pro.
It's funny that you talk about the business, right? About the business aspect. We're everybody who we cover the team, and you're playing for the team. We have the experience as well with a coaching change. Got a two-parter for you. First of all, have you spoke with Coach Smith? And second of all, how is it feeling that you talked about how so many people on the coaching staff helped you out? Now you have to get adjusted to another coaching staff. What is that? How does that feel for you?
Yeah, so I haven't talked to the new coach yet. I'm waiting to see, how everything plans out. Everyone's off season. It's my first rodeo at this, so I'm trying to, feeling it out, seeing how off season works. So I actually got to call my agent later today, discuss some ins and outs. But yeah, that's something that we talk about. But he tells me, he told me a few weeks ago, look, you're gonna have a new rookie year all over again. So we're excited about it. We're excited to come in there and prove myself. But he's like, this is basically rookie year 2.0. So that's kind of how my mindset is going into it. Prove myself. I haven't done nothing yet. So just go in there and try to show out.
And I'm sure Raheem Morris, Jeff Ulbrich, and really just the entire coaching staff on defense had an impact on how you were able to be so successful this season, obviously getting the nod for the rookie all-pro team. So congratulations on that. But yeah, definitely what maybe are one or two takeaways, especially towards the end of the season when the defense really started to come together, that you can take away from what Ross said or what Ulbrich said into that new tenure, that new rookie season, as you said, with Coach Arthur Smith?
Yeah, we're starting with Coach Brick. He was incredible, from the jump. Brick, he just, like I said, he's a coach. He's always going to be on you, but it's always coming out of love. He finds those things that everybody needs. So, he'd find stuff in my game that I didn't even know I need to work on, and that would be something, but not just me, the whole group had to do. So then it forces you, you're a young rookie, and they're making all these vets do a drill for you in the morning. You're like, okay, now I got to get on my stuff so I don't have to do this again. So just kind of basically just holding me accountable. And one thing I would say about Ra, my guy Ra, he's one thing he would say that stuck with me. He always says, nothing is required but your best. Nothing else is required but your absolute best. Every time you step on the field, that's practice, that's in the meeting rooms for film, that's on the game day. Your very best is always required, but that's it. And that's something that always just stuck with me. Whenever I feel like man, I don't want to be here today, or man, it's a long day. Just my best is required. That's all about being a pro.
Yeah, and he used to joke, Mykal, from time to time and say how a lot of you guys just really wanted to get it right the first time because nobody wanted to kind of go through over and over the repetition again. So it's kind of funny when you mentioned that, where he was about the excellence and making sure you get it right on that first try, get the technique right, have the right focus and motivation to get it done on your first try.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Mykal, it's funny. Like, I've always admired Ra and Coach Brick about how much of how much of they are teachers. Those guys, I really look at those guys as really just breaking it down to the nitty gritty so you can understand it. And how important was it for you to be able to experience that type of teaching early on in your rookie year?
It was huge. I mean, just starting off all the, it was a crazy year with all the virtual stuff we had to do without going into like OTAs or any camp like that. So, I mean, really, Brick he broke it down to where he would teach us the drops, wouldn't teach us the plays. So you would just learn every single drop you had to do, and then we get the plays later. And he's like, okay, you have this drop, but you already know how to do that. So it really just changed my whole game because I never thought of it like that. Coming out of college, I was more of a react player, but now I know what they're doing, now I got that one little step forward, and that's something I'm still working on and still trying to get better at. But that's something that Brick would always tell me, you got to know this, he would drill me every day. Like, what are you going to get out of this formation? And it's like, man, like, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do. But
yeah,
after a while, it really means a lot to me to have him as my first coach, because I feel like it's going to put my career a long way, having him to start it off.
And that's the funny thing, right? Because like when you think about dealing with coaches and stuff like that, it's hard to for me. I know I've always dealing with my defense coordinator in college and just how he just makes it sound so simple, and then for them to be able to assess you individually and there be so many people on a roster, I just think that's an amazing feat to have. And like I said, I thought Ra and Coach Brick, those guys, that was probably one of their biggest assets to me, just from the outside looking in, and just watching you guys practice on a day-to-day basis. Now, Mykal, yeah, I know you got your wig going on, man. You got the blonde joint going on, like, because I just experienced it today, right? So I normally go get my hair cut in Atlanta, close to where our job is, but I have time to go down there, right? So I just passed by a barbershop and I was like, man, I don't know about this one, but I was like, I walked into the barbershop, I was like, and then the guy that I went to, he was sitting over there by himself. Nobody wasn't really talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, I could take you." And I was like, So you know where I'm going. So like, how long did it take you to figure out like where you're gonna get your haircut and all that stuff, man, being in a new city?
Oh man, it's been crazy. I've been cut by the same guy in Vacaville, California since I was in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? So like when so like going down to my D2 school in Azusa, I had to try to find that guy. Then as soon as I picked him, I was with him all the way through there. Then I went to Fresno, I had to find the guy there, and I was with him. So like I just stick to one guy because I can't be doing, Hey man,
you can't be out there looking bad, right?
No. You gotta, what you're rocking from the neck up, man. That's important. It's important. Right. Yeah. So and it's so funny, Mykal, because I was thinking about that as well. Like yours and your whole rookie class is a very unusual situation because you guys were virtual, right? So normally I would be curious to know kind of, okay, what's call it the A. What's the biggest like A thing you've done or the A thing you've seen in the ATL? But honestly, I know you haven't seen a lot and I haven't really gotten a chance to get out because we've been on kind of semi lockdown since you got here. But is there anything where you were like, oh yeah, I kind of heard about that in the A and now you're here? It's like, whoa, okay.
I would say the biggest bummer for me was I was driving around and we were big, I was big Wild 'N Out, watching. So like I love that show. And I drove past one and it was closed down, and I was like, this is, way before all this craziness happened. But like I was driving by and I was like, man, like if I can go to a live show, I've always wanted to go like a live show of that. So I mean, just one of those, like, stand-up comedians or anything like that. I always want to do a
Oh,
live
yeah.
show, and I can't, because COVID. But that's something once this blows over, I need to get into some live shows. Never been to a concert before. Need to get into some concerts. Yeah, I was missing out.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, when concerts are here, the funny thing, and Jarvis might even be able to tell the story better than me because he was able to get in, and you know what, I still got FOMO, Michael, I'm just keeping it real. He was able to get in on the last Outkast concert before they kind of went into retirement. Well, one thing I can say, I'm not from here either, but being here, man, the concerts are off the chain because you never know who's coming through. There's always somebody who has a second, a third, a fourth house here who's like, oh, yeah, since I'm just in the A at my other house, I'm just going to kind of pop in here and make, a guest appearance for this particular performance. So, yeah, when it comes back, it's going to come back big. And then, too, I was thinking when I got here, there were two things that I wanted to check out, but really one of them is Jarvis's favorite. So I'm just saying, he'll tell you where to go and what to do. But one of them was the Waffle House, because I had heard about 3 a.m. at the Waffle House from Jermaine Dupri. So I needed to know what that was all about. And then this place is like, if you like wings, it's like wing heaven. And Jarvis is like a super wing lover. So that was the other thing, always asking him, where do I go? Which wing spot is that spot? So those are two things you got to do. You got to find your Waffle House, Michael, the one that you like to hit. And then you got to find your favorite wing spot.
Yeah, definitely gonna look into that. Love me some wings.
But the thing about it though, Michael, like you can't go during the daytime. You got to go at like after club hours. Obviously in the off season. I know you're not. I know you don't seem like a type of guy that like to party. When season's going on. But yeah, that's the type of spot you got to go to. Like when you get out of the club. Like yeah, man, it's time to go hit the spot. Because growing up here, man, like. You can experience a lot here in this city of Atlanta, and wings and Waffle House is at the top of that list. So, Outkast is my favorite artist, right? And I got a chance to see him in the last concert. It was amazing. One of the things guys that I was introduced to that I really didn't know about, and then come to find out he's from here, this area too, is Childish Gambino. He opened up for them, and I was just like, whoa, like, who is this dude? I was like, yeah, he sounds like he's from Atlanta. But he definitely represented when he opening up for those guys, and like I said, had the time of my life. So with that being said, man, who are you listening to? Who's your favorite artist?
Man, my number one artist, Lil Baby. And I be Lil Baby. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's been my number one for a minute now. So I'm waiting to see when he pop up because I'm for sure in that concert, in that club, wherever it show up.
Like, hey man, come join me in my section. Like Lil Baby.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta make a couple more plays so I get me to introduce myself to Lil Baby. Got a couple more plays.
I might be able to hook that up for you, man. Holler at me offline, bro. I got you.
I'll leave that to Jarvis. I'll leave that to him. He knows all the little nooks and crannies in the city. He totally does. But it's a city, Michael, that is so excited right now, is so encouraged because of some of the things that your rookie class was able to do, some things you were able to do, some things AJ Terrell was able to do, and now also having this fresh perspective of a new GM and a new head coach as well. So I know you haven't had an opportunity to talk to them. I know it's going to be like rookie season part 2 for you, but what's kind of your enthusiasm about what your class will be able to do next year, especially if that GM and that head coach are able to put those pieces in place to make the Falcons a contender?
Man, I think the sky's the limit for my rookie class. I mean, you've seen what AJ Terrell did. He's the real deal. Like, regardless of what people say, he's the real deal. And that's my boy, my dog. Always gonna go to battle for him. But I mean, there's so many. It's deep. Like I could talk about all our draft classes. Marlon Davidson is a beast, man.
Yeah.
My boy Matt Henney, he's getting his reps in there. He's gonna be a really good player. I think he's gonna take over this league for sure. My sleeper right now. And then I got my boy Hawk. From Cal, that's just, both from Cali. That's my guy right there. Right. Hawk. And then Sterling, that's my dude. It's funny. Sterling, he's the punter. My roommate in college was my punter, so like I got a love for punters.
So you already got that synergy is already there, right? You already know the quirks, because those are the quirky guys, right? The kickers and ball snappers. Those are the guys that kind of like in their own little circle. But so you already got a little.
They're definitely something else. Like I love for the specialists. So they're definitely cool. And I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of undrafted free agents that a lot of people have heard about that are really going to make some noise next year. So I'm really excited for them.
Yeah, I can see that too. And, I wanted to just go back to something you said as well. When you're talking about AJ, you're getting hype and you're talking about Sterling, Hofrichter, Matt Hennessy, just that whole class. One of the things that we kind of low key haven't talked about a lot is the fact that, listen, this city also likes to see players with some dog in them. And Jarvis and I used to talk about that when we, from the gate, from training camp, we're like, they got a little edge to them, got a little dog in them. We like this. So what is it that you kind of see, and you kind of hit on it, but in terms of that edge, that dog that you really need, especially when you're talking about even the NFC South division and battling within the division, what's that dog that's in this class of 2020 that's going to also help you guys to take that next step when you return to the field?
Well, I think we just feed off each other. When you're in college, it's such a family, like brotherly bond. And I'm not to say it's not like that in the NFL, but, just as a rookie, you're coming from a place where you've been there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years even, or, those guys that, those are going to be at your wedding, now you're just meeting these new guys who are starting to become family. But it's like, when one of them make a play, I'm on 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, now I got to get mine. He got one, I got to get mine. It's just one of those friendly competition that we have. And it's just, I think that's something about our rookie classes. We all kind of have that same mindset. We came in virtual, not knowing anybody. And then I don't even know who it was, but somebody was like, man, I think I'm the best out here. And then someone stood up like, man, I think I'm the best out here. And then, from there, it's just a trickle out down effect. But yeah, I mean, this rookie class got a lot of dogs in them, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
What was that moment for you, Mykal, that let you know that, hey, I'm a professional and I get paid to play football?
Man, it's funny though. I get asked this question a lot, and I keep going back and forth on my answer. Like, there's so many different moments. And I would say just real quick that, like, when you're coming off of this coronavirus and all this stuff where you don't have that time to, like, okay, I've been in camp, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, you're kind of thrown into the fire. It's like you don't really get a moment to sit back and enjoy it almost, because you're like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm right so I can play. But I think going into week 3, my very first start, not even in the game, I walked in the locker room and my stuff was all laid out in the locker room, first home game. I had my name for the intro, and I was like, man, like, I'm really here. Like, I really made it. Like, that was like such a surreal moment for me, just being able to really sit back before I had to go out there, put my pads on and everything, and just be able to take it all out.
Yeah. And I know that you were talking as well about some of the impact that Coach Ra and Coach Brick had on you, and you even talked about players as well, but maybe tell us a little bit about maybe one player, one moment where one of the veterans took you under their wing, and whatever they said or did, that was really that thing that made you, I don't want to say turning point, but for lack of a better term, maybe that was a turning point, like, okay, bet. And that was something that helped you to pivot in the season.
Yeah, I mean, Debo, Deion Jones, that's my guy, Debo. I mean, he's like an ultimate big brother to me, like because my number's 43, he's 45. We're always right next to each other in the locker room. And the thing about him is, like, it will be 5 minutes before it's time to go play. And we'll be talking about life, talking about what do we want to see our family, this year? What are we going to do about this? Like, but it had nothing to do with football. And I'm talking about, like, I'm about to put my helmet on to go out there and play. He's just such a real down to earth dude that, like, what he says to me, it holds weight, not even because of, like, who he is and what he's done on the football field, but just because from day one, I mean, I got out here a little early so I could train with some of these guys. And I mean, from day one, he invited me to his house, and, we chopped it up, broke bread. And from there on, like, what he says to me really holds weight. He's like a true big brother to me. So I said Debo is like that guy for me, where I'm like, I want to be better for myself to show him that, I'm here, I'm here, I can back you up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what? That just, to me, that just speaks to, like, balance. I think that the importance of having that balance as a professional football player, because this is your job now. Because in college, man, it's just like, oh, you living it up, you having fun, you playing ball, and then next thing you know, hey, we want to draft you, and then it's a job now, and you have to really just kind of just feel your way through, and like guys like Debo, man, and be able to come in and step in and say, hey, take you under the wing, and like, hey, here's how you do it, and then let you know that you don't have to get yourself so worked up before the game, and just like, hey, man, just go out there and play. You put in the
Yeah.
prep work, now it's time to go eat. And definitely Debo is. I'm not surprised to hear that at all with the guy like that, the guy of his caliber, because we all know that Dion is a all pro type guy. And Mykal, man, you mentioned something about talk about California, and born in Fresno and raised up out there. And what's one of the things that you feel like your upbringing like that helped prepare you for when you got drafted or for your rookie year? What was something that kind of just that you went through in your life that what I can do this. I can be in the league. I can play in the league. I can be successful.
Well, my freshman year of high school, I lost my father, and for that was really tough for me. I was like, I just got a little envelope that said, we're going to invite you up to varsity for your sophomore year, and me and my dad were excited about that. I mean, for us, we've always had that like football connection. I started playing because of him. So when I lost him, I was kind of like, man, I don't know if I really want to play anymore. Maybe I only played for him, and it took me, I had people in my corner who showed me like, nah, like this is what you do, So I think I just look back to that moment. But when I was a kid, my dad would always say something to me. He would always tell me like, I don't want you to be where I was at. I want you to be better than me. And, my dad had a little off season in the league, so he had his little shot to get in the league for a little bit. It didn't work out, but like he got there, So he always was telling me like, don't do what I did, be better than me. And then he'd always tell me no matter what, after every football game, like, don't be average. Like that was like my main saying. I took that and ran with it. So I think that's something that really just took me through so that I could make it.
Yeah, I definitely understand the loss of a parent, man. It's like you almost wish for them to like, man, I wish you could see me now,
Yeah.
But I firmly believe that my mom is still up there looking down, and I'm sure you believe your father's looking down, smiling as well, man. So it's definitely something you can definitely appreciate going forward. Like, so tell me about your brother, man. Like, does your twin brother, does he play ball too?
No, my twin brother's getting his PhD right now. So he's at Boise. Yeah, he got granted a fellowship. He's doing his thing. He's doing cancer research. I tried to call him a little bit ago. He's like, I'm in the lab right now. Like, so he's doing his thing.
We're taking big time of you, man. Come on now.
Yeah. Wow. Well, your dad must be super happy. And listen, as a breast cancer survivor, anyone who is doing research to eradicate any type of cancer, I am always for that. So definitely wishing him well, hoping that he can pull through this program and just eliminate this and eradicate it for once and for all. Jarvis's life also touched by cancer with his mom. So definitely we have much love for what your brother's doing, much respect, and want to just give him a shout out as well. And, I was thinking too, you have those moments in time. For me, it was my grandmother, where something happens and you say to yourself, like Jarvis said, that parent, that grandparent, they're looking at you at that moment and it makes you smile in that moment. What was maybe that one moment once the regular season started with the Falcons where you could just feel your dad kind of smiling, whether it was a play or whether it was something off the field? What was the moment?
I would say like my very first, it almost brought tears to my eyes. My very first game, it was so quick, like it was so fast. But like, I just remember like getting in the locker room, being able to see my jersey up there. We go out to do our little pre-warm up stuff, and I just like once we finished just a linebacker little thing, real quick, 5 minutes. We finished that, and I was sitting there waiting to go in and get my turn in for our little 7-on-7 team right before the game starts, and I just like. It was such an overwhelming experience. Like, man, I'm really about to go play in my first NFL game. I looked over there, saw Russell Wilson, and I was like, oh, man, like, I'm really about to play my first game.
It's not Madden anymore. It's real deal.
No doubt.
Yeah, so, like with everything going on right now, as far as with the new head coach coming in, Terry Fontenot coming in, and I'm sure you're going to meet with those guys coming up, man. You got any goals going into the next season?
Oh man, I'll shoot for the stars, man. I'm trying to be an all pro. I'm trying to make the Pro Bowl next year. So that's definitely what I'm striving to do. And I hope the team hopefully reach the Super Bowl. So that's the whole goal.
And also, are you trying to politic? Try to put your hand in the dirt, rush the passer a little bit, man. I know I know you did your thing with Fresno. Rushing the passer coming off the edge, man. You trying to holler at coach about that?
I said, whatever puts me on the field, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Michael, man, we definitely appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on
Yeah, we do.
and giving us some time, man. Because I know, professional athlete. I know y'all are busy, man. Always got something going on and trying to, work to get better or just living life, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on and giving us some time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me. Anytime you get away from all the other stuff, do some of these. I love doing stuff like this, get me away from everything else I'm doing. So I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you as well. And as always, you can check out Fill in the Blanks podcast on a gazillion platforms that Jarvis has us on, right, Jarvis?
All of them: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Yeah, we all over, man. And we always are here at the same time, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. And you never know who we're gonna have on the show. You see that professional athlete right there.
Yeah.
That's my dude, Michael, man. He getting his hair cut where he needs to get it. He ain't got to have no anxiety going off to the barbershop, man. So hey, we doing good, man. We doing good. And Michael, man, if we run into you in the locker room, don't be a stranger, man.
So,
yeah, we hope to get back in the locker room one day and actually get to meet you, right? That would be really nice. Be nice to meet you, man. But listen, if you guys also want to check us out, Saturdays on 92.9 The Game, 6 p.m. It's the show. We're going to replay a little bit of this in case, you want to get a little more Mykal Walker flavor. We got that for you this Saturday, 6 o'clock on 92.9 The Game. In the meantime, you can always follow Jarvis at JarvisD90, at Tenitra Batiste on all platforms. You can follow at Fill in the Blanks on Twitter, at _Fill in the Blanks on Instagram. And Michael, if you want folks to follow you, he's a good follow, guys, by the way. What's your Twitter? What's your IG?
My IG is Mike, MYK _walk, WALK 43.
Good follow, guys. Good follow. Thanks as always, FIDB fan. We'll see you next week.
See you.
All right, guys.